What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Mr. Straight Facts Show. I am Mr. Straight Facts. Hope you guys having a good day. It's been kind of up and down. My day's been good, but the news has been kind of up and down. The major part doesn't take it. What's up, everybody? Technical difficulty. so, my name is Mr. Straight Facts. This is a Straight Facts Show. Today has been kind of up and down, but as far as the news goes, that is. Um, One good thing, the Epstein files, um, they added on to what needs to be done. Two judges have decided that even the uh, grand jury information, all that stuff like that, should be released. And you had Representative Garcia come out and say, now you have to release these things, court ordered, and so forth and so on, by the 19th. But we'll see, because they're going to drag it on and drag it on. Donald Trump is trying his best to drag it on. As we saw with Marjorie Taylor Greene, Donald Trump lit into her, yelled at her. I'm sure he cussed her out. You know how he disrespects people on camera, these reporters. Can you imagine the way he talks to women behind the scenes? So he had to say what he had to say to her. I'm pretty sure she hadn't seen that toward her before, and that's probably one of the major reasons she decided to bounce. She found her way out. Um, but I don't think she's done. I think she's going to have another position. I just think she's just waiting for the heat to kind of fizzle out because these MAGAs are out there. Whatever Donald Trump wants, they're going to give him. So if they want her unalived, then Donald Trump gives a say so. She knows it's a wrap. So she kind of I think she's trying to fade off until this man either gets deathly ill, dies, or whatever. She'll be back into the fray no matter what. She says she isn't, but I don't trust the word she says. Miss Space Laser, come on. She's all of a sudden going to be uh, really, transparent? No, no. She's going to be batshit crazy to the day she dies. But in 10 days, 12/19, put it on your calendar. That's when it should happen. Legally, it has to happen now, according to Representative Garcia. I know they passed that bill, but because of these rulings that happened, I think it was today, at least they mentioned it today, it seems like it's more enforced. I'll dig deeper into that because I just learned of that earlier today, not too long, probably about a couple hours or so ago. All the details. I saw his interview in which he talked about it. But I have to get more information, to be 100% factual on that one. Um, Another thing that happened today, good thing for Democrats. I don't know this individual because I'm not just on the Democrat plantation. I'm trying to repeat what they say. I'm not on the Democrat team just to be on the team because of policies. But when it comes to having the better common sense, oh, of course, it's the Democrats. Um, but Eileen Higgins in Miami, I don't live there, so whatever happens, happens for them. But she's the first mayor, Democrat mayor, in 30 years. What I take from this is tides kind of moving a little bit. Uh, they had a heavy, or still do, heavy Latin presence in Miami, and they go very conservative. Either they did not vote this time around, uh, or they voted against Trump. Um, that just happened tonight while Donald Trump was on his Live Forever tour. So he's out there trying his best to go lie to the people and tell them the economy is A plus 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 infinity. And he said that in an interview that it's A plus 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 whatever. Everybody knows it's F minus minus minus. But I mean, you can tell how many jobs have been lost. Millions of jobs been lost. Um, they've had, the prices of everything is going up. There's like a few items or commodities that have lowered a little bit, but the majority of them are sky high, or even somewhere near the same when Biden was president. So that's horrific, and hopefully with getting more of a common sense type of people into place, would throw fear into these Republicans' hearts. You know it is already because Grandpa Cankles is out here trying to give a speech to everybody about how they don't understand how richer they become under him. When you listen to Donald Trump talk about they're making so much money because of these tariffs, so much money America's making, what Donald Trump does, he's kind of lost in his own little sauce there. He's talking about the rich people getting so much richer. Why? Because they're charging more for the product. They're putting less in it. Think about it for a second. If they kept it the same amount of product in the bag, right? Right? And let's just say like a bag of chips. Let's just use that. If they kept it the same amount of chips in the bag and just raised the prices, you have that inflation in which, again, and if they kept the prices the same, then they would be losing just a little bit, right? Because again, they lowered the product and then they kind of like, they charge more. They can even make it almost an even because of the tariffs. But these fools are lowering what's in the bag, charging you more as if tariffs is hitting them and we got to charge you more, and they lower what's in the bag, then they're hitting you twice. They're giving you less and charging you way more. So now they're making money hand over fist. Why? Because they're charging more for less product. That means they're selling more product because if you can put this much in a bag, you can sell 2 or 3 bags before you get to what a bag was, or at least 2 bags before you get to what a bag used to be. So now you're making that, even if the bags were the same cost. You're making double for just 1 bag. And then you add on, tariffs is hitting us. Well, the tariffs you've already settled while putting less in the bag and charging the same. Now you're going to end up charging more. Oh, it's so much. And then putting less in the bag. They're making money hand over fist. And that's what he's talking about. My rich friends are just bragging about, you know how you get into a bubble? Even Obama got into it. You get into a bubble. You'll get into it. I'm sure if you right now are a person, listen to me, that's making $300,000 a year, and you don't really have any friends who are making like $50,000 a year, you don't run in that circle, you're in a bubble of $300,000 or more. So when things start to hit you, you best believe it's already been hitting the lower people. They've been complaining about it while you don't see it because you're in this bubble of 300 grand or more. Donald Trump's up here with these billionaires and extraordinary billionaires from overseas. You know what I'm saying? These tyrants who are stealing from their people and keeping them poor. I mean, they're being like extraordinarily wealthy with rich shit, gold, this, whatever. And Donald Trump has never been up there. He's enamored by those people. And therefore, while he's around them, he went on a world tour around billionaires, them giving him shit, treating him like he was a king. He's got people who treat their people like trash, treating him like he's a king. That's why he won that world tour. Didn't give a shit. In this past 11 months that he's been president, almost 11 months in 2 days. Well, not 2 days, in 11 days. Right? 11, 12 days. This person has went around the country. What has he done for America? That one bill. The one big, beautiful bullshit bill. That bill is the only thing that they've even tried to pass. But they don't went all around this damn world collecting gifts and planes and money and gold shit and this and that and tearing down buildings. Of course, the economy's doing great for him. Everybody's treating him like he's a freaking king. He's going around killing people for no fucking reason whatsoever on boats. No reason for it. Did you guys hear today that in that meeting they had with Admiral Alvin Halsey, Holsey, that I think I have the actual quote from NBC News. Was it Halsey? No, it wasn't Halsey. It was Admiral Bradley. Bradley, I'm sorry, Bradley, the one who that they spoke to prior to. Admiral Bradley, when they asked him about the second blowing up of the bomb of the boat and stuff like that in that particular meeting, it came out that, like we said, like we all said, the drugs weren't pointed toward America. They were never trying to get to America in the boats that they had. I told you the only place they can get to is neighboring countries that they're nearby. That's it. These boats didn't have enough on it to be traveling thousands upon thousands of miles. You think about it. You think those boats could have came, not even fucking another country. Look at those boats and tell me those boats can just travel the United States from one end to the other, from LA to California, from LA, California, to New York, over 2,000 something miles. You think those boats would have took you 2,000 miles without having to be refilled up? No. And think about how much further they have to go from Venezuela to the United States, or to Venezuela to one of the other ends of the United States, California, New York, probably closer to New York, but still, how much further it would take them. And they're going to do that with these little ass boats. Not true whatsoever. Not true. So what happened was Admiral Bradley gave it away in these meetings. He explained that these boats would have never made it and weren't even headed toward the United States. They were going more toward Europe or Africa. Now, are we in some kind of group like protecting Europe or Africa for something? I mean, he calls Africa shithole countries. He's not trying to protect them. And Europe, he always has a love-hate with Europe. So they're not in this fight with us. So why are we protecting the shithole country he believes and the other country that he always fights with, Europe? Why is he protecting them? It's not coming to America. They've never mentioned Europe. They've never mentioned Africa, Donald Trump or Elon Musk or Pete Hegseth. They have never mentioned Europe or Africa in this Venezuela thing. They only talk about, don't get drugs in America. We're protecting America. These drugs were never meant, if they were drugs, were never meant to come to our shores. So we're spending hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions of dollars. We'll send our boats out there and everything to protect Europe and Africa while saying it's America? Something's up, y'all. I mean, the idea that they should not be setting up an impeachment for this man is insane. They should be impeaching him, like, immediately. How much damage can this man do to this country before they realize, oh, he's fucking it up? Europe and other countries are stopping sharing their information with us because they can't trust that we're going to protect them. Africa or something like that. I don't know what they got going on with Africa. There's one guy who came in from Africa that they talked to and said, I didn't have a boat to give, or ship to give him. And he's like, I wish you could. This is what Donald Trump said to the African guy. He was cracking a joke, and Donald Trump was serious. Just the other day, he's telling you out in the open, he's telling Warner Brothers won't be sold unless one of the two parties are trying to buy it became better friends to him. And Michael Cohen was always right. Donald Trump is a thug. Donald Trump is a wannabe mobster. He is a crook at core. There is nothing admirable about this man. He has been robbing, stealing, pillaging forever. Hasn't worked a hard day in his life. He's just stolen from the people, and he continues to steal from them, and they're happily buying this crap. We're the ones who got to save America, while those dipshits think they're saving America and they're destroying it. There is no drugs from Venezuela making it to America. And Donald Trump is out there lying to this day. He went out there today on the campaign trail and brought up, and he ain't got no campaign to run, and brought up Venezuela and drugs coming into our state, our country. And the admiral just said today, there are no drugs coming in from Venezuela. Those drugs would have went to Europe or Africa. And that's if we believe there was drugs on the damn thing. They haven't proven that to us. Pete Hegseth saying the same things. We're saving the people in America. No, you're not. No, you're not. And all these millions that we're spending, if not billions that we're spending, Europe and Africa has no military people out there stopping the drugs from coming to their country. So if they don't care about the drugs coming to their country, why the fuck should we? We're here to be talking about our country. Why are we spending money for them? Because again, it is my belief that Donald Trump and Project 2025 are trying to steal riches from Venezuela. Donald Trump even mentioned that they are going to have a ground campaign. Well, if we're going to step on the grounds of another country, we're at war. Because as soon as you step onto their grounds, they're not just going to take you bombing them and shooting them. They got weaponry too. If you're going to go to war with them, it's just going to go to war. You ain't going to just walk through their country and be just bombing or killing your way to their oil. That doesn't make any sense. You're not going to be coming there killing their people just for the fuck of it. We're going to be at war. And I thought this was a party of no more wars. But to steal people's shit, to colonize. I think these people are getting excited again about colonizing something. If they're not trying to steal their oil, they're going to try and steal the country. I don't put it past them. Remember, Donald Trump was talking about he wanted to buy Canada, make it the 51st state. Tell me he wanted to buy Greenland, I believe. Think it would be beneficial to him. I would not doubt they try to go and conquer, or in their minds, we discovered, like Columbus and shit, we discovered this place. It used to be called something with a V, but now I call it America 2.0. I don't know what they're planning to do. Those are being jokes, but hey, you never know. Because again, America, it's us. Donald Trump's doing it. He's our leader. They see America. They don't just see Donald Trump. America is killing people with no reason behind it. No justification behind it. Our House and our Senate have no fucking clue why we're over there. And they've just passed a bill where they want Pete Hegseth to release this information. And with the bill, it restricts 25% of the funding of his traveling funding if he doesn't do it. I don't know why they went 24. I would have went 95%. You ain't traveling nowhere till you give us the information. Even if it's just in the committee of all Republican House and the Senate. But at least Republicans voted on that. I'm excited about that aspect of it. But it seems to be that some of these people are chipping off this rotten, rancid block of ice that is called MAGA to make some decisions that are against MAGA while they're still living in this infested MAGA world. They're stepping out and getting a breath of fresh air and then going right back into the toxicity. But this right here, again, there's some Republicans, more than the ones that originally started, that want these files released, Epstein files released. Majority of them want it now. And there are more coming out saying they just released this video. What's this? Just use, you released the first one. I mean, it's the same thing that they would see in the second one. It's just the second one you see dead bodies, which everything else should pretty much be the same. I'm sure you didn't release the other video where you shot the first time and didn't show anything that was like process or anything like that, or any kind of hidden shit that you would show another country. What's so extreme about the second one? We don't need to the log of them speaking, just show the same thing. You see them on the side of the boat, boom. We don't know what weapon that you chose. It's just going to go boom. But we're going to see where they're at and whether they're doing what you said they were doing. I believe they don't want to give it up because they have come up with at least 4 stories since this video has been brought up. And I believe the Republicans, none of the Republican stories are right. And everything that the Democrats have come out and said is 100% right. And they don't want to release it because, again, they're going to try and lead up to it. I think Donald Trump is one of these things of him going on this lie tour is to kind of like diffuse that video on all those other things. He's going to try and diffuse them. Just like when Donald Trump was the Russia thing, you had them come out and expose it first and say, oh, I don't think it's nothing. Then people didn't read it because they just listened to Donald Trump's minions say there's nothing, there's no there, and we're not going to charge with anything, head of the DOJ. And it's like, oh, it's nothing. Then they had their talking points. It's nothing. Then when Mueller brought it out, there was something. There was a lot of somethings, but there was a memo that they couldn't charge a sitting president. And what's so sad about it is that in the media, regular news, there were a lot of things that Donald Trump did illegally. They couldn't charge him for. But instead of keeping that narrative and letting people know Donald Trump was a crook, he was a crook, definitely a crook, they let the narrative of there's no there in the Russiagate. Russia. They played it on the Republican side over and over again to the point where in society, most people still think now to this day that there really wasn't nothing in there they could have charged Trump with. And that's just not the case. There's a lot of shit they could have charged him with. He did a lot of illegal shit. But they couldn't charge a sitting president. Part of the reason why Donald Trump needed this immunity, because he knew he was going to be breaking laws and his minions were all in on it. The Republicans he put into office, they're crooked. The ones who put into the Supreme Court, they're crooked. Our government has crooked House members, crooked Senate. Then they got crooked Supreme Court justices. And I'm not saying this because I just like to say people are crooked. It's like, dude, they're breaking every constitutional rules and laws that we've had, giving the president immunity when all human beings in the United States, right? We're all like, we can't, nobody's above the law. And they literally put a president above the law. And if Biden, while in office, used this above the law shit and just threw Donald Trump in jail, would they have loved that? Would they have let that go? They would have had to. He couldn't be immune for doing it. I mean, he couldn't be immune. He couldn't be arrested for doing it because he was immune. But see, Democrats don't go there. But I don't know how long that's going to be. Now that you gave immunity, we have to return that back to normal once we get a Democrat in. One of their jobs is going to have to be to rescind that to some way, shape, or form. Impeach the people. I don't know what you got to do. But we cannot have any president coming in. Because when these people seek this type of power, you best believe they're going to try and test what they can do. Republican, independent, Democrat, whomever. Giving someone that type of power, they're going to try and test it. In America, we don't want that shit. We want our government to act the way it was created to be. We're trying to go forward to make it better, not regressive so that we can go back to being, England 2.0. No, that ain't where we're trying to go. At least that's not where I believe we're going to go or trying to go. You feel me? So that's what we're going to have to do is hold them to the fire. Democrats, if you're going to run into office, rescinding some of these things has got to be a part of your plan. Rescinding the shit that Donald Trump, whatever this crap Donald Trump has done, to rescind it. Take it back, go back to default, and then try to make it better for all people. Not for one set of group of people, not for, racist white people, not for anybody who wants to take over the world like Pinky and the Brain and shit. We don't want no more of this wacky, whack job shit. Go back to being a person who believes they're not above the law. Pete Hegseth believes he's above the law. He's literally killing innocent people. As long as there are human beings that are still alive, drug boats will run. These people know you've been killing people in boats in those particular waters, and they're still sending them out there. So that tells you these drug lords, they don't care. They'll put all babies on that bitch. So this is not an effective strategy to stop anything. And to find out, it's not even coming to America. It's dead up going to Europe, if at all, Africa. Nowhere near America. So spare me the bullshit statements of, we've saved so many lives. Remember, what was it, Kristi Noem or one of them? I want to say, or no, it wasn't Kristi Noem. It was Pam Bondi's dumbass. Every time, we done saved 6 million people from fentanyl. Coming from, whatever the hell. She thought it was Venezuela and shit like that. From Venezuela, like, it doesn't come from Venezuela. It comes through Mexico, but China, it has a lot of the agent to put it together, and it's assembled like a freaking car or some shit. Different pieces put together. Boom. Then it's shipped through Mexico. So why the fuck you way over here in Venezuela that it's going to Europe or Africa, and Mexico's right here next to me in California? It's right there. And you're talking about going way over there somewhere. Why? She was like, oh, it's. Then she went from like, she was really high. She was like 6 million or something like that. And it's like, wait a minute, it's only 10,000 people dying from it a year. I mean, where she get 6 million? This heifer went from 6 million to like 30 million or some shit, till she went to some crazy 300 something million. I'm like, Trick, there's only 340 million people in America. Not everybody's taking drugs. You don't include the babies. You don't include the teenagers, the preteens. You don't grandpa and grandma and great grandma. You included everybody in fentanyl deaths. And she said this shit on air like multiple times. It kept increasing. 200 million to 300 something million. They just throw numbers out there because they're people just plain stupid. They out there touting it too. You see on some of the podcasts, today's we saving 200 million lives. Get the fuck out of here, bro. You know what you're talking about. There's literally 10,000 deaths, and you're talking about like millions. And medically, fentanyl is legal. I mean, and you get older. Well, it ain't even gotta get older. When you have operations, I had a minor operation. There's a mix between something, I don't know what they put, some kind of anesthetic, and fentanyl is mixed together. So fentanyl is used legally in this country to knock you out, do an operation. Same thing, propofol. It's crazy because fentanyl killed Prince and propofol killed Michael. It's like two of our greatest artists ever unalive by these two drugs. Well, they're bad judgment and these two drugs. But regardless, it's in this country legally and illegally. But they have not saved any lives that they're talking about. None whatsoever. You can't just calculate it. They don't blow it up to hundreds of millions, so you know they don't really have no real numbers if they're making it that big. All right? Because they're not going to give it to you. After they don't say it 200-300 million, they're going to come up and tell you, well, we really saved 5,000 lives, which is good. But they ain't going to never say that because they done exaggerated it extensively. You know, so what the fuck is 300 million lives you done saved? This, again, was Pam Bondi. That we have to sit here. And for me, I don't know how you guys feel, but to be lied to that egregiously, it irks the shit out of me. I'm like, dude, just recite what the fuck you've done. If you've only saved 1,000 lives, That's better than nothing, bro. Put that 1,000 out there. But they believe in embellishing, like they're selling fucking snake oil and shit. It's like, dude, quit throwing shit on shit. Because you got to remember that. And you guys don't remember your lies. That's why her numbers increased. Because she didn't remember the last lie she said. She just knew she had to say something higher than the one she said last time. And Donald Trump out here today, tonight, just lying some more. But there was something at that rally that I want you to know, because I had to go over and watch Fox. Yes, I said it. I had to watch Fox. Yeah, Trump killed Herman Cain. I remember that. I am Aaliyah. I want you to. We're gonna watch a little bit of Donald Trump's speech, because nobody aired it I saw but Fox. I flipped through and see, and nobody was airing it. And this man was off his rocker, but he said some things. I didn't watch all of it, but he said some things that were just, of course, not true. But I want you to hear some things that he said in it that I don't know what it means to so to speak, whether it was a joke or whether it was real, but you guys can listen to it for yourself if you didn't get a chance to go check it out. But we'll talk about that in a hot second. So you get to see that this man, Admiral Bradley, literally said, there is no drugs coming to America via Venezuela. So we're killing people for no reason. It's not saving America from shit. So while they're fighting for Europe and Africa, over here near Mexico and other places, in a small amount, very small amount, but still coming in, Canada, that's where the drugs are coming in from. And you're fighting drugs in Venezuela, but you're not fighting drugs for America. In fact, they just let go of the Honduran president that literally sent over tonnage, millions of tons of what somebody said earlier today, of tons, right, to this country. Cocaine. He just let this man out of jail. Biden's people, they put him in jail for it, 40 years. They let him out. How are you trying to protect when you're letting criminals out? January 6th, letting criminals out. They looked at the presidency of people who have been pardoned by presidents, and I think it was like Bush was less, way less. Then Obama was just a little bit more than Bush, in the hundreds or whatever, maybe 1,000 or so at 1,200, 1,500 or whatever numbers. Donald Trump, and even less than that, it was just hundreds of numbers. Donald Trump shit was in the thousands. It's like just one of them was 1,500 or some shit like that. And that was January 6th, some crazy list, exonerating people, giving them pardons. I'm like, you're just letting out all the criminals. And the person that's this is what's tripping me out. It is a black woman. I believe she's black. She could be African or whatever she may believe herself to be, who was a kingpin of some sorts. She is the head that Donald Trump has of offering these pardons to people. She's letting out her cronies via Trump. She's the head of deciding who should go. And Donald Trump saying, okay, I don't know who they are, but okay. That's insane. That's insane, y'all. It's going to take us forever to get our country back after we get rid of this fool, or whenever the devil decides to call him downstairs. It's going to take forever, y'all. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to be here. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take 30, 40 years, I believe, just to get us back to where we were before. It is just way too much crap they've destroyed. And you got to get people in. If we continue playing games by putting in the head of the Senate is a Democrat. The Democrat runs the Senate, and the House is run by Republicans. We're fucked. We ain't gonna be able to get shit done. And hopefully this time around, it's impossible I believe, because no matter how much I tried to educate people who hadn't voted or people who were voting and said they were in the middle, they were independent, it's like, you understand, a no vote is putting these dipshits in office. We got to be united on the fact that we want to move this country forward. These protest votes because neither party is giving you what you want. Well, there's only one party trying to take away democracy. I hope you fucking understand that. I hope you understand. There's only one party trying to take democracy away. Now, I'm not saying that you got to pick one particular. In the primaries, you can pick whichever Democrat you want. Get behind whichever one. Make sure that the one that's less, of what you don't like and more what you do like, and the person who has the right policies for you, get behind that person. Go vote for that one so that they can rise and put somebody good in office. Stop putting these nitwits that can't, like I said, they wouldn't be able to figure their way out of a wet paper bag if there's two holes on both ends. They would still be lost on how to get out. They can't manage shit. Look how they're destroying our country. We were going up. Interest rates, everything was going down. Right? We still had a ways to go, but everything was going down. Coming from 9%, coming from this is one thing I always got to explain to people in real life, like in person and shit. I'm like, when these co-workers or whatever, people that I work around, they'll literally, the ones who are maggot out a little bit, they're like, we was at that 9%. I said, yeah, it was at the 9%. That's exactly, we were. So how did we get there? You understand that Donald Trump could not manage, could not govern. Neither of these Republicans could govern for the damn. So when Donald Trump was in, their way of governing COVID-19 was pretending it wasn't that bad. Telling people, let's divide them so they be fucking pissed off at each other and killing each other. They won't look at us. And he divided the country instead of uniting people. Other countries united, right? They got out of this bubble. Some of them didn't even have to even go through it like we did. There were some countries that didn't even shut down, yo. Why? Because they managed the fuck out of it. We mismanaged it horrifically, lost over 1 million lives. Not because the disease was just rancid. It's because, and it was bad, but if another country can save its people by doing exactly what their scientists told them to do instead of going against it like Donald Trump, other countries got over it a lot quicker than we did. Some didn't even close down that much at all. But Donald Trump, they mismanaged it. And then when you think about it, think about how when things shut down, if you had say you had a small town, everything shuts down because of COVID. You can't open up, and this is what a lot of these conservatives who didn't understand the pandemic, the ones who didn't care about having vaccines, and they just want to go outside anyway and kill everybody, not wearing a mask, then if they didn't understand that, and Donald Trump was their dear dipshit leader, that when you open a country, or let's say if you had your own town, if you open it back up too quick, everything goes to haywire. Why? Because they will never have a product on the shelf. If you open everything back up, that means everybody comes out. The store has already, because of 2 years of decreased sales, the shit they buy is based upon the economy in which they've been living under for 2 years. If you open everything up like this, there's no way for them to have enough product for the demand. So what happens? Either they run out of this shit, which would probably happen immediately, and then before they can be able to order for everything else, the shit that's left will skyrocket because it has to cost them a lot so that it doesn't empty the shelves. So that's when they actually start charging you a shit ton of money for something that should be down here, price gouging, because they need to keep the product on the shelf. So it's a balance when you're opening up a country or any town or whatever. If you had a town that had like a pandemic just in your own little town, to open it right like that, nobody has the product or the services for you. Only people who still have the product and services for you are those essential businesses that were always running the entire time. They may have it. But the ones who were shut down and the government was paying, PPP loans and shit too, and paying their employees, they could not open up quick. Because you got to understand, every fucking country was opening up, which means what? We had the same thing we had a problem with in reverse when we first got into COVID. Our problem was we couldn't get enough masks because everybody and their mama needed them. So when every country is opening up at the same time, everybody's going to need the products and services. And which country gets it first and second and third, and which these companies that are the same, Coca-Cola has to make more drinks, and this other have to make more drinks, and have to make this huge batch when they've calmed down for 2 years. So it is a balance in which you have to perfect, and nobody's perfect. So every country was opening up slowly. Some were really fast, and others kind of mild, and other all over the place coming. So then the markets are freaking out. Like, how do we do this? How do we do this? Everything shoots up. Everything shoots up. Every country had the same thing about inflation. Every country went skyrocket on inflation. And then America was doing better economy-wise than any other country under Joe Biden. Even though we were going through it, we weren't going through it like other countries were economically. That's a testament to Biden bringing people in and opening up the country as best he could. I didn't say he opened it up perfectly, but have you ever managed yourself out of a pandemic? I don't think he has either. He listened to people who were smarter than him and made decisions, some good, some bad. Donald Trump didn't even try. He tried to tell the smart people that they were stupid. And therefore, when it was getting worse, he was telling them, nah, don't worry about it. It'll be done by April. No, sir, it won't be done by April. I told you to be done by April. Don't even tell nobody it's a big thing. It's just like a cold or a flu. It's going to go away. Instead of telling America what they should be doing and managing the place well, he did a fucked up job. And then blamed it on everybody else and their mama. Oh, it's Dr. Fauci. Oh, Dr. Fauci don't save so many lives. It's ridiculous. This man been around. If it wasn't for him and his crew, people would be having AIDS and shit and dying like crazy. They're the ones who helped with the AIDS pandemic. That shit was hard. If you were around the time I grew up, that shit was hard. That shit was killing babies, kids. They didn't know where this shit was coming from. They thought it was monkeys and blood transfusions. Little people was having it. They thought it was just in the gay people community. But it was insane. This man and his group of people are the ones who have brought that shit to the point where we still have Magic Johnson around. You talking about a man don't manage to save millions of lives, and they listen to a dipshit that couldn't even save a casino. It's insane. But yeah, that's what happened. Skyrocketed under Biden because of that. And then he enacted his plans and policies, right? They reduced the inflation, that act, everything started going down. It went from 9% to like 3%. Still doing better than any of our other countries that were democracies that went through the same shit that we went through. What else can you ask for? I mean, of course, I'm sure he could have done better if he had made a decision here or there, better than he did. But you can't, for me at least, I can't blame a man or woman or leader, for that matter, for making split decisions that made a mistake, but not because he or she didn't listen to the people who were experts in the field. It's because tide shifted. You can't tell how people are going to act or react. But if you unify around things, you can be able to try to do it. What they immediately uh, mobilized around was having not only the president, the vice president, cabinet members, celebrities, uh, podcast people, influencers. All of them were taking this uh, the COVID vaccine. They had that whole campaign. Leaders and mayors and governors all taking it, putting their little COVID-19 band-aid on, promoting unity. Everybody come out and get it. If it was that bad, would the president put it in his arm? Would his wife do it? Would his friends do it? Would his kids do it? Of course you can trust it. I just put it in my arm. Hello? That's what he did to bring about unity. Donald Trump was out there still like, oh, no, it's good. It's not bad. It's bad. It's good. Even though he took it. He took the most experimental one before it was even done. He took another one because he was on his deathbed. And they gave him some other shit they've been working on, some cocktail that we're not privy to, that got him out of it. And he was damn near on his deathbed. But this is the man that was telling everybody not to take it. Then all of a sudden he got on a train of, you can take it if you want to. You don't have to. He never gave a shit about the people who love him. They just were dying left and right. And this dude was like, you don't have to wear it. All the while, he taking medicine, staying 6 feet away from you. His stage was a distance from them. He was following the rules while telling everybody else to scapegoat the rules. You're free to do whatever you want to do. Insane. So that happened, and that's why we had high interest rate inflation. Now inflation went down to 3. It was on a downward trajectory from 9 to 3. That's 6% drop, right? And that's in less than, that was 2023. So in less than 2 years, it dropped from 9 to 3. And in a year, it should be at 1.5 or less right now. But it's near the same as it was when Donald Trump came into office. He's done nothing to benefit the people, but he sure as fuck has been on a tour getting millions and millions of dollars put into his pockets and billions of dollars put into his kids' pockets. And even Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's out here, doing everything for like talking about Epstein files and all this other shit. But if you haven't forgot, this woman, when Donald Trump messed with the economy, and he basically had, I remember when he first came in, the stock was going up and up and up with Biden stuff. He started fucking with the tariffs and shit. Boom, it dropped. Then it dropped drastically. People were like, what the fuck is going on? Because they didn't know what he was doing with these tariffs. They didn't know whether to believe it or not. It was all shaky. Around here, when it was down, he was letting people know that he was about to do a change. And that change was going to make everything skyrocket again. Soon as they did that, this woman sold so much stuff, bought so many stocks and shit, all just enough to make her go from just a few $100,000 to a multi-millionaire. She done got in there and made her money, and now she bouncing out. She was one of the same people out here stock trading based off of Donald Trump's whims. Knowing how the stock market was going to blow up because she had inside information that Donald Trump was going to release the next day. And he even put in like a text or something like to everybody that he was about to do it. They got their money in. The next day, their shit just skyrocketed. The most corrupt president in American history. Most corrupt. And these people love the most corrupt president. Go figure. Well, today, Chuck Schumer came out after the Hegseth briefing. It wasn't him. It was, that's where Admiral Halsey spoke. And they wanted to release these files. But Again, just like not the Epstein files, about the files on the boats, the video rather. And they're talking about we need to do like an investigation on it, or do research on it. It doesn't make any sense, like we talked about yesterday. They're still talking about it doesn't make any sense. And the good thing about it is the pressure hasn't stopped coming on them. They haven't stopped asking them every day, and we need to keep doing it. Put that pressure on Donald Trump and his little crackpot military team. Keep putting that pressure on. Bring people down to speak to them. Everybody that was involved. Bring some of these military men and women who pulled the trigger and what they thought. Bring them there and interview them. I think this should be live. It shouldn't be behind scenes. You don't have to show the video when you're asking the questions about said video. But if this video is ever released, we know damn sure we should have them back and actually say this stuff in front of American people. Because nobody should be sitting here watching these things, these boats and people killing everybody, and they don't justify why they're doing it or how they're doing it. Right? You know, they don't need to know exactly how the where it's being launched from and stuff like that. I'm talking about how are they doing this, and it's really not a how. It's like in the situation of how are you allowing this to happen? How are we over there blowing up shit that doesn't have anything to do with America? If anybody should be blowing those ships up, if it's a real big problem, it should be Africa and Europe, not America. We should be over here guarding Mexico and Canada. So that's why you know they're doing something facetious. They're doing something that they haven't let the House, the Senate, or the American people know what they're doing, but they already got a plan or strategy. Project 2025. It's got to be somewhere in there. And if it's not in the Project 2025 book that they passed out to the public people, you do know there's another book that's way longer than the book that they received and that we got to see, right? That was said a while back ago in the undercover video where they talked about there was actual plans and strategies for each department. And those would not be foilable. Freedom of Information Act, which means me and you can't see it, which is illegal. There's nothing they do in there that we should not be able to see except for classified information. And day-to-day work is not classified. So they went into office knowing they was going to break the laws, trying to skirt the laws, trying to create their own little deep state. Everything they say is basically a projection of who they actually are. All the negative shit they try to put on the Democrats is 100% who they are. They just get out in front of the narrative and make the other party whom they are, then they continue being what they are and blame it on the Republicans and the Democrats. So the Democrats come back and say, you guys are this, that, and the third. Be like, you're just repeating what we said about you. And their people will be like, yeah, he said it first and you said it second. So you're just the repeater. And that automatically suckers them into thinking, it's not Donald Trump, it's you. See, he saw you first. He was more transparent. You're just repeating him like a parrot. No, he jumps in front of the narrative and makes you the bad guy while he continues doing the bad shit. Go back. Go look at, and you got to go back. Continue to watch him. You'll see. Whatever he says about somebody else, he's already been doing it. He just gets in front of the narrative so that anybody who blames him of it, he blames you of it. Way before you get to blame him of it. He owns the narrative before you actually say it. And that's what the Republicans love about him is he showed them a strategy to fuck with the media, to fuck with any particular office in government, call them fake while he continues to deliver fake information. Call them nasty while being nasty. A person asking questions, say, hey, sir, are you going to release the tape that you said you was going to release? I never said that. You're just a bad reporter. You're a terrible reporter. He calls them what he actually is. You're nasty. How can I be nasty? I asked a polite question. You're the one being nasty. So if you come back on his nasty, then you're the nasty one. But him treating you nasty, while he claims what you did was a nasty deed, which it wasn't. It's all mind games with this party. And the sad thing out of all of it, which bothers me, is that it works on people. And I see through it, and I'm like, how in the fuck did you think that was him doing right by you? Or how you not recognizing this dude's game? It's odd. It really is. It's scary how brains work. Because I literally think that everybody should be loaded with logic. But nope, some people come loaded with dipshit. Logic is not something that they have in their system. And that's scary. Those are the people that are gullible enough to believe that Donald Trump gives a shit about them when he doesn't. This is Schumer coming out talking about the briefing and what he thought of this briefing today about the Hegseth, boat strikes.
It was a very unsatisfying briefing. I asked Secretary Hegseth, Secretary of Defense Hegseth, would he let every member of Congress see the unedited videos of the September 2nd strike? His answer, we have to study it. Well, in my view, they've studied it long enough, and Congress ought to be able to see it.
See, he didn't say open it up to me and you. He's saying open it up to everybody in Congress. Why wouldn't you do that? These are Americans whom are supposed to uphold the law. They're supposed to represent the American people. If they can't see it, and they've got clearance to see all kinds of things, and not necessarily all military actions, but House and Senate. If we were going to war, you'd have to get the House and the Senate behind it. The House has the purse, right? You did none of these things. The House should be able to know what their country, our country, is dealing with. Because if this is a war crime, right, we have to hold ourselves accountable. And every country that we're in with NATO and all those other places, because it's international, we're war criminals. Pete Hegseth should not be able to travel to Europe, to Venezuela, and those areas of the country, wherever they have these particular, even maybe Europe, because of the fact that NATO shouldn't be able to travel to any of these countries within NATO without being arrested. And we should arrest his ass for doing it. These are the reasons I believe they don't want to let it go. Just like Donald Trump is in the Epstein files, and we spent millions of dollars getting his name out of it. And seeing how he cussed out MTG, you know he was being nasty to her. When she said he yelled at me, blah, blah, you know he was being nasty to her. Called her probably stupid and all kind of names. And then came out and called her a traitor to the country. You know how he feels about traitors. They need to be unalived. He literally saying that they needed to unalive Marjorie Taylor Greene because she wanted those Epstein files released, and people could get hurt. Donald Trump don't care about nobody but himself. So he could get hurt. If he believes he can get hurt, no wonder you got Pam Bondi hiding behind it. No wonder all of them have everything they have right now. This prestige, this fake ass power, temporary power. They have Bongino, cockeyed Kash Patel, Kristi Noem, whom I hear is about to be fired or hasn't been let go, maybe recently of some nature. But I don't know if it's true yet because they said it was going to happen. But anyway, Pam Bondi, all of them. They all together does not make a complete, full, regular ass brain. All of them out here in the positions they know they would never be in, flying around in planes that they wouldn't be in, except for some of them were already rich before they came in. They're doing all that, and Donald Trump is the leader, and he treats them, they get to do whatever they want. But all this power they yield, That's why these fools will never cross him. That's why Pete Hegseth, he knows that Donald Trump's in these files, doesn't care. He's out there killing people for fun. It's a fucking sport for him. Pam Bondi, she know he's in these files. She ordered them to be taken out, of his name to be taken out of him. If he's innocent, why do you care? Kakai Cash Patel knows he's in there. He's ordered so many FBI agents to literally spend hundreds of hours deleting Donald Trump, or at least getting his name out of it. Dan Bongino knows. Why else would this man end up like quitting somewhat to speak and having some other guy come in and do his job and then disappear into the ether until they have an investigation of some sort, and then they bring him out? They bring their little Bongino boy out. Hey, look at this Bongino's bag. Then throw him back in the closet somewhere. He found out he can't handle lying to the people like he did, even though he admitted that now he has to tell the truth, because before he told people what he thought, his opinions, even though he knew the truth was the opposite of his opinion. The reason why we know that is because he's saying the opposite now. I got to tell you the truth now. Before, I got paid to tell you my opinion. Well, your opinion before wasn't based in fact? Obviously not, because now they are, he's saying. It's crazy how these people out themselves, and the people who put money and made these guys millionaires off of these podcasts and shit, they're still gullible. They're like, oh, I can't wait till he comes back type of shit. I'm like, he just said he was lying to you. But like we said, it's all feelings for them. Make me feel good, I love to watch you. Make me feel bad, I don't want to watch. So as long as you go down there and lie and make them feel good or angry or hateful at the right thing that they're hateful and angry about, yeah, golden. Just golden at that point. Now, the last thing I want to show you, it's kind of a little long, I'm going to skip through it, is the actual rally that Donald Trump was in. Just so you can see, I had to see it all. Not all of it, most of it. I just pulled some of it out. I didn't want to record all of it. But some of the things this man was saying, and some things that exposes a lot about his audience, his crowd work, how it's kind of changed a little bit. You'll listen to it and hear it yourself, and we'll stop down and talk about it. Right? I hear you, Alice. I was just reading your message.
I would say there's one country that has probably a stronger border. You know what that is? You know what that is? North Korea. North Korea, I think, has a stronger border. But other than North Korea has 7 walls of wire, and each of them has 1 million.
Right back over. Listen to this. Listen to this man.
I would say there's one country that has probably a stronger border. You know what that is? You know what that is? North Korea. North Korea, I think, has a stronger border. But other than North Korea has 7 walls of wire, and each of them has 1 million volts of electricity going through it. So if you get over one, you're dead for the next one. If you get over one, you're in very bad shape. If you get over 2, you've set a record. So I don't know, Scott, I think we give North Korea the safest border. Don't you agree? You know, but ours is pretty safe. And I want to thank Pete Hegseth and the military for helping us.
One thing you should recognize right now is the crowd is small. They never pull out from this shot. I mean, I was watching it for a good 30 minutes or something like that. 20-something minutes, whatever the fuck it was. Never once did they pull out from this shot. It's been held this tight. And to keep it this tight, they're trying to put as many people in one shot to make it look like he still has the crowd he used to have. Even in this tight little shot, that background is sparse, right? It's scarce. You can see the back wall. Remember before when he was hiring all these people to come to his events and had the black people for Trump and the Latin people for Trump all behind him. Now the dude directly behind him is dressed like him. Look right there, dressed exactly like him. This fool looked like the way his face is fucked up or made up. It looked like he don't wear suits on the regular. This man put on a costume, literally, to come stand behind Donald Trump and look like him. Look, all the way down to the T. Right there on his shoulder is a pennant, like Donald Trump's got a pennant. Now, Democrats, independents, those with common sense and brains worth a damn, would you ever come to any rally dressed like the president? That'd be a fuck no. Only batshit crazy people come in dressing like the president. If it ain't no Halloween thing going on, Halloween theme or costume theme, but why would you come dressed exactly like the president? Again, these people are in a cult. They always want to tell you, you're the sheep. No, sir. No, ma'am. Sheep follow. Not at all. Democrats are leading. Okay? When we talk about leading, I mentioned it before, and I'll keep mentioning it. Democrats come up with Medicare, Medicaid, ACA, y'all call Obamacare. The fuck are they come up with? I just mentioned 3. What have you come up with, Republicans? If you just want to stay with healthcare and taking care of the people, you come up with bupkis. I mean, absolutely shit. Zero, nada. So how do you care about the people when you've never thought enough and set down enough Republicans to put your brains together to come up with an idea that can help the people, even if it was a corporate idea of how to do it? You haven't come up with one. I look back the last 10 years. I look back the last 50 years. Y'all ain't came up with shit. How do people vote for a party that has done nothing for them? Roads and bridges are usually done by Democrats, and Republicans go to their own areas and be like, they be like, thank you, our roads need to be taken care of. Oh, you're welcome, you're welcome. Taking credit for shit that they voted against. Fought against it hard. And then took credit for it. All of these Republicans over the decades have done that shit over and over and over again. They take credit for what Democrats write and make happen. Instead of holding them accountable and say, you know what, you didn't vote for this. Why are we shaking your hand? We should be going to the Democrat mayor or the Democrat whatever leader, not to you or the Senate because you said no. Not for you Republican in the House because you said no. You should not get credit for this. We should not be thanking you for our roads and bridges being taken care of because you said no. We should not thank you for health care because you have said no and come up with nothing ever since. They have never, in my lifetime that I can think of, prove me wrong, come up with anything that helped the people. It's always tax cuts and breaks and shit. That helps the rich. Tell me where it helps the people. You'll be hard-pressed to find one. It sucks, but you'll be hard-pressed to find one. That's how this goes. Let's continue on this road with Donald Trump talking the mess that he's talking, so we can get it in here real quick.
And again, for 7 months in a row, we've had 0 illegal aliens that have been admitted to the United States. And nobody. Do you remember when Biden said, I need legislation to do that? And I said, no, all you need is a new president. I didn't get legislation.
He just broke laws. What the fuck are you talking about? All you need is a president that'll break laws. You don't need to go through the Constitution. You got one president that literally wanted to go through the process of getting the House and the Senate to do their jobs, instead of a president coming in and saying, forget the House, forget the Senate, forget the Supreme Court. I got immunity. I'm going to do it. What you going to do to me? And then continue down a road of destruction. And a House that's and a Senate that's Republican led that do nothing but allow it to happen. Get paid. Well, I'm like, we shouldn't even be paying the House and the Senate Republicans. They shouldn't even be getting a dime. Their money should be frozen. They shouldn't get a dime because they haven't done anything for the American people. We're paying them to do nothing. They went on vacation while their constituents were like starving. They went on vacation. Not one of them had a video of them going out and giving food to those who weren't having food. Not one of them were going out there to support anybody going through it. They didn't start a campaign or nothing. You didn't say no GoFundMe, nothing. They didn't go out and hand people, say, you know what, whatever check I get from this. Because remember, a lot of these people got money already. They could have donated their check for the next month or so to feed people. They had no care in the world for the American people going through what they were going through. All they wanted to do is blame the other party and say, hey, so Democrat led this. And I'm like, you're the leader of everything. You're the head of the House. You're the head of the Senate. You got the Supreme Court justices in your pocket and the president. And you want to blame it on the minority that has no power. Other than you need 10 of them to come to your side. Or in this situation, I think it was 8 or 9 of them to come onto your side. And you couldn't do that. You couldn't govern. You couldn't negotiate. And you're supposed to be like, the art of the deal cronies. You probably read the book. You love him so much, you would think it would be an art of the deal that one of you guys would really want to learn how to negotiate. You couldn't negotiate. You just sat there. I want it all. Well, we're going to give it all. Well, I want it all. And therefore, we were in this long 40 or 50 or whatever days of people, not having money, about to lose their jobs. Some of them lost their jobs, about to lose your house and all this other stuff and not being able to eat, all because Republicans couldn't come to the table. In fact, instead of coming to the table, they left and went home and didn't even try, while blaming other people who were sitting there saying, let's negotiate. Them saying no and going home and saying F the people. You realize Republicans have always been F the people party. They don't care about nobody but the rich people. Democrats, they got their core that they like to deal with the rich people, but they're the only party that comes and says, we got to give them something too. Just can't give it all to the rich. We got to give them something. The Republicans never go to the people and say, we got to give them something. They give them some words and shit to listen to, but they never come up with a plan. Because think about it. Could you and I go get a job and tell somebody, you know what? I'm a master electrician. And I need to be paid $150,000. I'm going to hook up your house and shit like that. Good. Just leave me alone. I don't need nobody. And you don't know the first thing. You in here watching Google videos to learn how to do because you're getting paid $150,000. And when these people come and see you watching Google or YouTube, rather, to do their shit, you think they're going to turn around and be like, man, this is just the greatest electrician. He even watching YouTube. No, they're going to beat your ass to a pulp and tell you to give their money back. But with Donald Trump, they're still enamored by the dude that's been ripping the fuck off. Like, how are you enamored by somebody who just told you he robbed you? What is it that you're stuck? Cult. It's race, it's money, and power. These people are in a cult. They can't see. Even when they see that he's effing them over, they still try to find a way to cling on to him. It's weird. It's really weird. But listen to some more of this before we get up out of here. I don't want to listen to it all because I want to overload you with this dipshit.
Hey, Scott, did I get legislation? I said, close the freaking border right now, and they did it. because our Border Patrol is incredible.
That's all you gotta do.
ICE is incredible. That ICE, poor ICE, they take a lot of abuse, but they're the toughest people. And again, Washington, D.C. now is, we had the tragedy, of, which was a terrorism tragedy, but we have Washington, D.C., the safest it's been in 52 years.
It's safe, but you just had the killing. You just had the killing, but it's safe. Somebody just walked up and tried to snuff out 2 people that you sent there that should have never been there. And that's safe. Sounds like an additional crime that would not have happened had there not been an orange dipshit putting people in the wrong place. But that's safe.
And a year ago, you couldn't walk down a street in Washington, our nation's capital, and now restaurants are booming.
I went to D.C. and walked fine. You know what kills me? If you listen to people, always when these I don't know who, just people in power, mayor, governor, police department, police chief, and all this shit like that. You listen to them, they're always seeking money and telling you they're going to be able to help stop crime. The more money you give them, the crime pretty much stays the same. It may decrease 10, 20% depending on how much money you gave them and if they effectively done what they did. But even in that process, the illegal shit that some of these officers and people do and politicians do and shit, that shit stays the same. That doesn't decrease. That stays the same or gets worse. How many of these mayors and senators, House people for the state, how many of them getting caught up in scandals? The more money you put into it, the more corrupt these people find out a way to do it. It's just crazy to me. I'm just like, how do we fix this shit? Because again, to me, I think there's the regulations, which Republicans don't want, are the way that the American people hold people's feet to the fire. We can't just have this free for all shit no more. If you're working for the government, there's gonna have to be regulations for shit. And a lot of these immunity type of things, I don't know how we're gonna deal with that. Again, it's a part of the Constitution for most of it, but it just kills me that these people believe that they can just lie to you at any given moment, as long as they ain't under oath. And I'm like, you should have a higher standard. You should not be able to go in and have a worse standard than an average person. I wouldn't expect my kids to lie to me, even though I'm pretty sure they would if they would think they would get in trouble. But I wouldn't want my kids, and they know I don't respect them, lying to me at all. But I'm going to allow somebody that I give the power to help my community and help me in a time of need, give them the power to lie to me without any repercussions. Who would do that? Would you tell your child, you can lie to me at any given moment? It don't matter. So why the hell we give them the ability to lie to us with no repercussions attached, immunity attached? It's something wrong with that. We got to work on that, I believe.
Are opening. The restaurants were all closing. Now the restaurants are opening. You can't get into a restaurant in Washington, D.C.
Lies.
Biden and the radical left Democrats turned Pennsylvania into a dumping ground for hundreds of thousands of migrants from the most dysfunctional places on earth, like Somalia, and gave them billions and billions of your taxpayer dollar. But we didn't.
Like Somalia. He is on a racist rant. He said he's never been to Somalia. He doesn't even want to go to this negative adjective he mentioned or whatever, dirty country and all this shit like that. So you've never been, never want to go, but you've got a hell of a lot of hate for something you've never been to. You can't hate the place because you've never been. And how do you hate the people if you really never met them? The only people you know that are Somali is Ilhan Omar. And you don't like her. You hate her guts because she's like part of the whatever 5 that you guys used to hate on. And all they wanted was to be treated equally in this country. The women have their rights. for us to have, health care, shit like that. I mean, simple things you called radical. It's not radical for you to tear down a wing of the White House without asking anybody. A historical, I mean, think about it. This is, if you want to talk about the most historical building in American history, you would think of the White House for most of us. And when there's an historic building in your community that's been there since 1903 or whatever the hell it's been, and it's got the name of the town hero back in 1903, whoever it is, Alfred, whatever, right? And then, it's the biggest building on the block now. And you say, oh, man, I'm going to buy this up and do this stuff to it and love it. I'm going to turn it into, corporate commercial buildings and stuff like that, like a WeWorks. Hey, I'm going to hook it up. You can't tear that bitch down because that is a landmark, historic landmark. The White House is a historic landmark. This man spoke to no one and tore down a historic landmark. Tyrant. And nothing happened to him. Not a thing. He's out here destroying America. And I did this, I did this, I did. This dude is out here talking about what he's done for America. And he's done more destruction than building. For a man who spent his entire life building shit, his career as president is just tearing down. You heard the architect and him had an issue, so I guess he's off to another architect. And it's probably because he probably lowballing the dude. The dude like, fuck you, man. I ain't building all this shit. You talking about just 200,000. Man, get the fuck out of here. I don't know what number he's probably. I just guarantee you, architects like, hell no. I'm not doing it. I done gave you the plans. If you want to change on that, that's on you. But I be damned if I'm going to put my money up front and then do something for you. No, sir. You talking about 300-something million for this place, and it moved up to almost a half a billion? And then you want to pay me? I guarantee you want to lowball the dude. I don't know all the details, but there's supposedly an issue with him. He's looking for somebody else. Let's continue just a little bit more before we get out of here.
We give it. It was stolen. And those people should go to jail. Jail.
What he should do.
And if they don't go to jail, Scott Bessent is toast. He's toast. I'll tell you, that could be.
Scott Bessent is not a lawyer. He's an investor. He wouldn't be charging anybody with anything. Maybe Pam Bondi. It's just odd.
The easiest case, I think it's too easy for you. Just give it to your assistants. They can do that case. These people are crooks. They don't work. 91% unemployment. Okay? It's a scam. And it's headed up by the crooked Congresswoman. Whatever happened to her brother, by the way? Is he still around? Where is he? Yeah, he went low.
Who is a crooked Congresswoman that has a brother? I don't even know who he's talking about. I don't think he knows who he's talking about. He said, I don't know. He never brings up her name. It's like weird, but they know. They on that same dipshit brainwave.
He went low. He's not happy. Would you look into him too, Scott? Would you find out the brother, please?
The brother?
She said, how dare you say that about me? It's discrimination. Let me tell you, black people love Trump. I got the biggest vote. The biggest vote with black people. They know a scam better than anybody. They know what it is to be scammed. Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. We did great. Thank you. I like this guy. Thank you.
He's pointing to one of his blacks again. Thank you. I love this guy. I love you. He learned how not to call him his black. You know he wanted to say it. I love this guy, one of my blacks. We call him super cool.
We got a tremendous black vote. We got a tremendous Hispanic vote. We got it. We got a tremendous, because we speak the truth. They get it. Everybody gets it. Everybody, pretty much everybody gets it. And they know we're the real deal. Our country's become so strong in such a 10 months. Think of it. It's not even
11 months, but let's go.
a year. It's like, if we keep going like this, I don't know if we can do that. But if we keep going like this, there'll be nothing ever in history like it. Already, they are saying better than Lincoln, better than Washington, better.
They are saying. How often do these people got to hear they are saying and never ask who they are? They are saying. Who? Donald Trump, they believe you like this orange god. There is somebody whispering in your ear that you listen to that they aren't listening to. You trust somebody else's word. They trust yours. You're listening to theys. I thought you guys weren't like the pronoun people. For some reason, these theys are more important to you than you, because obviously you keep looking at the days to tell you shit, to give you facts.
The best 10 months ever in the history of the presidency.
Fake news.
And for the first time in 50 years, we now have reverse migration, which means more jobs, better wages, and higher income for American citizens, not for illegal aliens. And you know what?
Look at that. Bigger
We all have
paychecks
a
in the
heart.
back.
We want to take care of people. But these people are getting killed on the walk up. They're dying. They're dying. They have to go through jungles. We don't realize this. They are going through areas that are not, it's not possible to get through some of the areas.
Wait. Listen to this for a second. This man just said, and I don't know how he's going with this, but he just told them they have reverse migration or whatever the hell it is. He said their people are leaving more than coming, which means you'll have more jobs, more opportunity, more money, bigger paychecks, things like that, right? And then the next sentence is that you don't know this, but these people are coming in droves, and they're all these things are happening to them. Well, they're coming here, but you just said they're going back there, not coming here. They reverse migrations. It's the opposite. But then he leads you with a story about them coming here and dying coming here. And you don't know this, but that's the complete opposite of what you just said. I mean, literally, the sentence is tied together and buttressed together is complete fucking opposites. It's baffling. They're clapping for him like this dude just told you they weren't coming. Now he's telling you how they are coming.
You're going through jungles down in the Central America, South America, some of these areas with snakes, with crocodiles and alligators.
There it is again.
They're getting just eaten alive, and they're getting beat up by some of the bad people. Women are being raped. Remember when I started, I said we're going to stop the raping of women in those caravans.
Listen to this.
A name conceived of by me.
This fool just said caravan is a word that he conceived. He made up caravan, y'all. Just him, by his lone self, came up with caravan. He conceived it. Like he gave birth to it. This is one of the dumbest human beings to ever walk earth. I mean, seriously. He thinks, he comes up with words. Did you know the U.S. has us in it? I just realized that. At 78, I realized USA had the word us in it. The fuck was that? That's when he was on the campaign trail. I won by a little thing called groceries. Who says that word? Groceries. I said, I just won with groceries. Didn't even know groceries was a thing. The word was escaping him. On that same run, he's out there talking about bread. To get bread, you got to give your ID. ID to get bread. Was it alcohol bread? The fuck is he talking about? All right? He said these things. Go back and look it up. Get milk too. Got to get an ID for getting milk. He literally thinks they gave him an ID instead of like a credit card, or gave them a Ralph's card, whatever store you in, Kroger. This man thought you had to have an ID. Here you go. Look at my ID. just to get bread. He was going on these tours of stores and shit like that. I can only imagine what his feeble brain saw and how he deciphered it like a little 4-year-old child. They probably walked up with bread just to grab a little something, paid with some kind of card or another. Oh, looked at the card. Can I see your ID for that? Boom. Took that card. Just like, oh yeah, say, the ID for us, bread. Because they're probably on some program or another. Maybe they were on some WIC or something that they had to give an ID, and it was just an ID that they were on the program or some shit. Boom. Walked out. They got to give IDs for food. You don't even understand your own government systems. That's the only thing I can think of. Either that, he's just stupid as fuck. Either way, he's dumb. But he even said, you got to have ID to get bread and milk at one point. Now he's saying this shit. He came up with the word caravan, y'all. Do y'all remember a song by the Isley Brothers? Join the caravan of love. Every woman, every man, join the caravan of love. This dipshit literally thought he came up with the term caravan, boy.
Because it's a caravan, thousands of people, 10, 15, 20,000 people coming up. The women in those caravans are being raped in unprecedented numbers by other people in the caravans.
He can't deal with present tense and past tense. He doesn't get it. When he was out there talking about caravans, that's a past thing. That was 2024 when he was on the campaign trail. He just said he ended that and they're not coming here anymore. In fact, they're going the other direction. So people aren't coming to this country now, you said. Just a few seconds ago, Grandpa. And now you're reminiscing on when Biden was in office and they were coming by the millions and millions and tens of millions. And you're saying it in the present tense as if it's still happening. But you just said it was the past tense. That was happening when Biden, but not under your rule.
By them not coming, they're not even trying to come now because they know they can't get through. We're doing a tremendous service because they're not being killed and they're not being raped and they're staying back in their country where they've been. And they've been taken care of. I've also announced a permanent pause on third world migration, including from hellholes like Afghanistan, Haiti, Somalia, and many other countries.
He just mentioned all, except for Afghanistan, he mentioned places of color and a place that we was in war with. Yeah. Listen,
I didn't say shithole, you did.
call them shithole countries again.
Remember I said that to the senators, they came in, the Democrats. They wanted to be bipartisan. So they came in.
What's a bipartisan? Bipartisan, but not a bipartisan. Where'd you send them? Boy.
And they said, this is totally off the record. Nothing mentioned here. We want to be honest because our country was going to hell. And we had a meeting. And I say, why is it we only take people from shithole countries, right? Why can't we have some people from Norway, Sweden, just a few? Let us have a few. From Denmark, do you mind sending us a few people? Send us some nice people, do you mind? But we always take people from Somalia, places that are a disaster, right? Filthy, dirty, disgusting, ridden with crime. The only thing they're good at is going after ships.
I mean, you talk about racist. You talk about racist. This man just said the only thing Somalians are good at is going after ships. Called them dirty. filled with crime. We're talking about a man here who's got 34 crimes that he was found guilty of. A man who said he grabs women by the vagina because they'll let him do it if you're a celebrity. He just walks up and takes Tic Tac, so he just, because he walks up to women, he just kisses them. He can't help it. Just assaults them because he can. The man who's been accused by Katie or Kate Johnson at 13 years old to be raped by him and I don't know why I just dropped his name, but Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein. Together, they raped a 13-year-old girl. She says it. Why would she make it up? Again, I don't think she did. The same guy who took a woman who looked like his wife, which you had to go to court because he thought it was his wife in deposition, but said she was not his type, but would send a picture next to her. Yeah, this is my wife, Marla. No, that would be E. Jean Carroll. But she's not my type. But she looked like your wife, then your wife was your type, right? Exactly. So you go into a store and you molest/rape her. Lifelong criminal is calling an entire group of people, Somalians, they're criminals and they've done nothing. And they're shithole countries. Wow.
But they don't go after our ships. You know why? Because that same missile that knocks the crap out of them, that with the drug dealers from Venezuela and others. That same missile, think of it, from hundreds of miles away, we have the greatest military, we have the greatest equipment, we make the greatest equipment in the world. I bought more equipment. We rebuilt the military in the first term. Then Super Joe gave a lot of it to Afghanistan, but it was a lot, but relatively little. But we're still adding to it a lot.
It was a lot, but relatively little, and we're still adding to it a lot. If you wrote this shit down, you would think a crackhead is speaking. I'm gonna spare y'all the rest of this shit, but it's giving grandpa is sundowning and he's being racist on a regular basis now. And he's known to be a racist from people of color, but he has been given the a pass, so to speak, by many white people who say, I'm a Republican, but I'm not racist. But you've listened to this man, and everything he just said right there was 100% racist. And if you're a Republican still saying this man is not racist, what does that make you? That makes you a person who can't decipher racism at all. If you can't see that, as blatant as that was, then you're just as bad as he is. How can we trust that you're not racist because you don't see that as racism? And if you don't see that as racism, then you just might be racist. I'm just saying, you can't recognize it, then you shouldn't be telling people that you're not something that you can't recognize. You might want to listen to your friends or people who work around you that are of color and listen to you speak. They'll give you the racist, because we got racist dar. We can tell y'all a mile away. We can see you in the dark. You light up different. I'm going to tell you, we know. But this man right here, whew, is one piece of work. One gigantic piece of work. I don't understand it, how we allow it, but we do. We do. This country does, and continue to do it because nobody's stopping him. And I don't get me wrong, I like the fact that people are breaking off away from him. But my point is, what's it going to do? What's it going to do? We still got to be working hard against it. I believe where we are now with people who have fallen to the wayside, it's because of the pressures that we put on Trump and his people. Each one of these little scandals that Project 2025 has developed for them They thought if they just followed the game plan, everything would fall into play. And I don't think that the game plan that was developed in Project 2025, I don't think they calculated how the people would respond if all these things were going on. They knew that their white supremacist people would fall in line. But they need more than that small chunk of people. They need others to do it. And little by little, some of these people are cracking on some of the issues. As we get closer to the midterms and them possibly going out of power, you're going to start seeing more and more of them fall to the wayside. Not because they believe in what we believe in, because they want to sucker as many people as they can to think that they're on the fence and fighting for them so they can get elected again. I think we need to purge. And I don't mean the movie. I ain't talking about unaliving nobody. I'm saying purge as in like we need to get rid of the whole lot and create a whole new House and Senate. Because, I mean, these people can't work together. And there's no need to be putting people together that can't work together. And the Republican Party is damaged. They're damaged goods. Rotten to the core. They've shown you that one man can make all of them bend to his will. And they're supposed to be there for us, bending the will to the people. They go to represent us, but then get out there and represent themselves, their millionaire, billionaire friends, and the president. It's not the people. When they come back to the people, they should be held accountable for their actions. They don't fear the people. They come to the people talking shit, talking trash. You see how those Republicans were talking when they had that time they would go and talk to these town hall meetings? How disrespectful they was talking to the people that they begged for their votes. You can tell their responsibility was not to their constituents. It was to hold the line for their MAGA friends, their other cult members. And they were going back and speaking to the people disrespectfully. These are the people that put you in the office. They will put you back in office. And while you're not going through an election at the time, you felt like you could just talk shit to them. Because you know they're going to follow suit and come back later on. You're going to give them something close to the election. Here's some tax money back. And then going out, look what we did for you. And then they'll forget. Short memories. They'll forget that you treated them like shit the first year or two. Then that last year or two, or whatever it may be, then all of a sudden you were good to them. Well, people need to wake the hell up and realize you need to pay attention 24/7. The life you lead today and the future depends on the votes that you put out today, tomorrow, the next day. Every time there's an election, get your ass out and vote. I don't care what it is, dog catcher, what. We got to get this toxicity out of our country. They're out there in droves. They're out there having meetings and shit, talking about who they hate. Getting women to even hate women. Women's rights. Women are hating on their own fucking rights. Doesn't make sense. But they're sitting here listening to men telling them they basically need to be pregnant and barefoot and back into the kitchen. And they're like, you're right. Those people are unified, and that's why they win. The rest of you, women and men, voters, whatever, who don't vote just yet, you need to figure out your world is not going to change doing the same shit. It's not going to get better doing the same. If you ain't voting, tell me how that's worked for you. Has it gotten better or has it gotten worse? Don't wait until they pass a law that slavery starts back up again for black people to say, well, I don't vote because it really doesn't matter. Yeah, now your ass a slave again? That fucking matters, right? These laws are not permanent. The 13th Amendment is not fucking permanent. It's not ratified. They can literally overturn this shit. And don't wait till it gets to that point. 13, 14, 15. They can get rid of it. The 19th, they can get rid of it. Women being able to vote. Black men being able to vote. Black men and women being free. Those things can be changed. So quit playing like games with this shit. This is your life and your future. Your kids' life, your grandkids' life. No matter how old you are. Down the line. If you're 13 now, thinking about your future kids and your future grandkids. If you can't vote at 13, but I'm talking about learning about this whole process and being a part of it. Learning, getting ready for it. Understanding. So that your future works for you. That's a perfect age to start really thinking about it. Because I know you're playing games and stuff, but you got to realize that at some point in time, your life's going to change. And we all need to be ready. I wish I had learned at like that young of an age how my vote mattered. How my future would change if I put the right people in. Just saying. We all need to work on that. Thank you, Dennis. I appreciate you. We're about to get out of here. I want you guys to have a good night. Pay attention to, I know you guys are paying attention to the news and learning like the actual facts, double checking and triple checking a lot of the things these people are saying, because not all of it's true. Some things you got to look up for yourself. We all get caught up in that bubble of being able to see something and just automatically believe it because it's our favorite anchor or podcaster or whatever. I always say double check, triple check, even myself, because again, iron sharpens iron. We want to have a better country, not one that's a bunch of sheep. We teach each other, we learn from each other, and that's the best way. Hold each other accountable. Accountability and responsibility to the truth and facts. That makes it a better country, I believe, because you learn with the facts. Those lies, you don't learn from it. All you learn to do is keep lying. And I don't know about you, but I can't stand somebody lying to me because there's no foundation. You can't grow with rancid soil. There's no way. And that's the way I like it. I like to have it so that our soil is good, the foundation is good, and then we can actually grow from that and become better. All right? I appreciate y'all being here. Much love. Thank you, Jen James. I appreciate it. The memberships. I see that. It was sent 5 memberships. Appreciate you very much, Jen James. You guys have a great evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow around the same time. Much love to y'all. I ain't going to do the fuck your feelings. I'll probably do it tomorrow or Friday. I'm trying to set up dates for that. All right? Much love to y'all. Y'all take care. I'll see you when I see you.